Hi, Christine, again. So,
Hi.
we've been talking about your um, evening routine, or not really routine, but just the fact that you go to bed at 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious, but that's always my challenge to go to bed early. So,
Well,
has it been a challenge for you, or is it just natural for
actually, not so much. So for the longest time, I always thought I was a night owl, because in college, we would stay up really late. But when I've done more and more research about sleep, there aren't actually night owls as people think there are night owls. Like there are some people who have a slightly different natural circadian rhythm, but it's only very slight, like maybe 1 hour, and very, very few people actually fall into one of these categories. And so most of the time what happens is just that I think, we might procrastinate all day, and then at the end of the day, we really have to work. We just got to get this adrenaline because we're like, okay, now I didn't do anything. And that's why you're more productive, just because you have a procrastination problem. But focus-wise, you're not more focused at night. It's impossible because your brain has been working all day and it resets during sleep. It does a lot of repair. So people technically always have better energy, more focus in some time during the day in the morning when you're fresh. So when you feel like you're really just only productive at night, there's something else going on. It's not your biology. And so yeah, for me, it was like good sleep literally starts the moment you wake up. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. It's not, you can't just fix your sleep at night. It's the whole day, everything you do, all the things that the habits that you have throughout the day influence whether or not you will be able to fall asleep well and stay asleep well, have good quality sleep. And so this is called circadian entrainment, and there's tons of articles about it. I also wrote
How is it called?
circadian entrainment, because circadian rhythms are the natural sleep and wake cycle, and entrainment just means you're basically optimizing your body to really follow this natural curve well, because it's influenced by light. That's one mechanism that your body knows when it's day and when it's night, and it has different functions. Like at night you do very different things, obviously, than when you're awake. And then movement is another thing that sort of tells your body it's day now, it's night now. And that's really, really important concept you have to understand if you want to have good sleep. And when people have really messed up sleep cycles, and that really happens a lot, where they just, they might feel really tired all day, but then they get a surge of energy at night, and it's a sign that your cortisol curve is really messed up, because cortisol is the hormone that wakes you up in the morning, and it's high in the morning and then just drops. And if you've been chronically stressed or burnout, some people can't even produce cortisol anymore because, they've been so chronically stressed, or they have like a loop-sided curve, and you're just trying to get that natural cycle happening again. And for me, it happened, with I exercise in the morning, I get light exposure in the morning, and when it gets dark, I wear these glasses that block blue light, because blue light tells your brain it's day, and when you look in a computer late at night, you get way too much blue light.
Yeah,
So
I
you
have
can
those apps like Twilight and for your
yeah,
phone.
exactly. That's really helpful. I mean, these tend to block even more also from if you have artificial light, outside of the computer. And then, you want to make sure you don't eat. Like I stop eating at about 5 to 6, because if your body is digesting food, that's something it does during the day. Like it has other things to do during the night. You're not getting high quality sleep if you have food in your stomach. You also want to obviously avoid any substances like alcohol, nicotine. Those are all big sleep disruptors. And get movement in the day, early in the morning if possible, to tell your body, hey, this is day cycle, and really make this distinction between day and night, and do relaxing things at night, not stimulating things. And so a lot of people who have really messed up sleep cycles, one thing that they then try to do is just to go to bed early and earlier, which often doesn't work because you're just not tired. And when you lie there and you're not tired, you can't force yourself to sleep. So one way to sort of quickly fix that is that you actually stay up later and almost make yourself sleep deprived for a day, so that then the next day you will be so tired that you can sleep, at 9 or 8 or
So
whatever.
you decide you want to wake up early, but you don't force yourself to go to bed. You wake up early.
Yeah, you kind of,
Tired one day. Actually, I did that once, because for years
yeah,
I've been trying to get up early, but I was like, I have to get to bed early because I want to have this 8 hours of sleep. and it was just not
Yeah.
happening. And then someone told me, just start waking up early and your body will adjust. And I woke up, started waking up at 6:30, which is like late for you, but for me it's good. And
Yeah.
for a few days, it didn't happen the first night. First night I still went to bed late. It's hard for me to shut off and go to bed. And then just after
Just not
a few days,
go to bed at all.
after
Like
a
if you
few days, I started like going to bed early. And,
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to reset it relatively quickly. Obviously, you still have to fix the other issues
yeah,
with the
that's a good
hormones.
point what you said about the other one.
But yeah, and then you can do a cortisol day test where you spit into a tube 3 times a day to see where your curve is at. That will tell you what's going on with your hormones and how to fix it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the resetting, you can also just stay up an entire day, like you don't go to bed, and then you'll be so tired, and you can go to bed early. And I think it makes such a big difference if you go to bed early, because your body has things it does at certain times of the day. And if you're awake at that time, like from 1 to 3, your liver does a lot of work. And if you're not in bed, then that's not going to happen well. You're not going to feel well. It's just not good for your health. It's not good for your focus. And it's made such a big difference. Like even if I go to bed at 11, I don't feel right the next day. It just doesn't feel the same. And like, I think a lot of people, they're so chronically sleep deprived, or have, they're not in tune with the natural light, that they don't even know how they could feel, how good it could feel if they just fix their sleep. So if you can make that a priority for productivity, I think, and just your health, it's one of the most amazing things. You'll feel so much better,
So it started with you educating yourself and like from like the benefits, and you decided that you're going to go for it. Is that the way? Or?
Yeah, and my burnout, because when I researched about my burnout, so I had a psychosis, and it's so much about sleep, and sleep is a big part of it that gets messed up. Like actually, I couldn't physiologically fall asleep anymore when I had my burnout, and I was awake for a full week, and there's that makes anyone go crazy. And then it really became, I started to be very afraid of not sleeping well, because to me then it was a sign that I was getting worse. If I couldn't sleep anymore, I couldn't quite switch my brain into sleep mode. So it was I just became super like paranoid about it, and very, very like strict. Like I have to really make it a priority.
So it really needed to be a priority.
Yep. And then Mark joined me as well, and then he was like, oh my God, I feel so much better every day. And like now we can't go back.
That has to help, because if like I think one of the biggest challenges is when like you're you want to see your friends, or you want to go to activities that happen later. Like if your environment is not supporting it, like if you're not in the proper environment, then it's difficult. Like
I think that's why a lot of people struggle, because they work, and then they feel like if I go to bed, I have nothing left for myself. I can't socialize. I can't maybe spend time on my projects, my hobbies. And that's definitely a big problem. But the nice thing is, if you go to bed earlier, you're not losing time, because actually if you have better sleep, you need less sleep, because this whole you need 8 hours. That's a myth. Like there's a bunch of people that do fine on 6 hours. It's partially genetic, but I don't even need 8 hours. Like 7.5 is usually, or 7.
Yeah, me too. 7.5 is my.
It's like you
don't wake up naturally after 7:30.
You don't lose time, and that's actually better if it's in a time where your body can do the best, recovery, which is much earlier. And then you have just more time in the morning, and then you could work on all these things in the morning. Now, socializing, of course, that's the one thing that you can't just switch to the morning, because most people have messed up sleep cycles. So there, I have no answer for that. Maybe just like, don't have friends.
It's the other, like, you'll find
or spend time on the weekend with people, and just do it once a month. Or
someone told me once, a coach told me once, that even if you do it once a week, go to bed like before 11, then already it's good. Like even try to have it like once a day, like once a week. But
it helps. Anything helps.
Routine, I think that's the most challenging. Like if your spouse or your friends or your neighbors or community is not going to bed early, it's harder. But I think the key is to make it a priority. Like if it's a priority, like it is in your case, then everything comes second to it. Then.
Exactly. And that's,
Also,
yeah, everybody has to make that choice. But I can just only recommend it if you want to just feel more alert,
yeah.
you know, healthier.
Yeah,
It's one of the most
definitely. When
important.
I wake up at 7 or 9, I really feel the difference of my alertness, my happiness.
Yeah.
Really vitality. Like I really feel it.
Yeah, it's
Even
so
like
important.
between 6:30 to 7:30, I really feel like there is a different energy in the air.
Yeah. It's like day and night.
Yeah. And so one of the benefits you said before, you told me before that you actually wake up without an alarm between 4 to 5. Like your body just wakes you up naturally.
Yeah, when it's had enough and the day's starting, I just wake up, and then you don't have this jarring experience first thing in the morning, you know, like who likes waking up with an alarm? And it just doesn't break you maybe out of the wrong sleep cycle. Maybe you're in deep sleep, and then that can affect you all day. You just actually wake up when your body is ready to wake up because it has enough cortisol and it's, you know, gone through this sleep cycle. And yeah, it's like it feels, you need to trust it if you have to be somewhere, obviously. It can feel a bit scary, but with time, it's not a problem. You know, you wake up when it's time. So yeah, that's a great goal to have.
Thank you. So basically, it's about designing the day to help us sleep in the night.
Exactly. There's a lot of good books about this. You know, to talk about sleep cycles, and the biohacking community is big on circadian and training. Like with light and temperature, you can do a lot to just really create this difference of day and night. And yeah, it's a great thing to work on.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I'll take that. Bye-bye.